Okay, today I'm going to show you how to divide polynomials. It's easiest if we start with an example. If we have 3x squared minus 8x squared minus 21x plus 56, we are dividing that by the polynomial x squared minus 7. So you have to think back to old school long division, okay, back to elementary school. You're sitting in your 3rd, 4th, 5th grade class, and you're dividing numbers. So if you think about your process of when you divide a number, let's choose an easy number. For instance, let's say that we are dividing 100 divided by 2, right? We would first actually start with the actual division, right? So we would start with dividing. We would ask ourselves 2 goes into 10 how many times? Well, 2 goes into 10 5 times, right? So we would divide first. Next, we would multiply. We'd say 5 times 10 is 10, and we put it underneath here, so we multiply next. Next, we would subtract. 2 minus 10 is 0. And then lastly, we would bring down. So 2 goes into 0 times, and we start the whole process over again, right? Okay, we bring down. And then we would repeat. Okay, so this process is still the same. We just have it algebra 2 style with polynomials. So again, we start with divide. So we ask ourselves, x squared times what will get us 3x squared? Well, I have the x squared covered. Actually, this should be x cubed, my bad. I have x squared, I need x cubed, so I need 1x. And 1 times what will get us 3? Well, that would be 3. So we need to multiply by a 3x squared. So next we're going to multiply. So what is 3x times x squared? Well, 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. Now multiply the second term. So 3x times a negative 7 is a negative 21x. Now since it's x to the first, we're going to line it up and put it under the x to the first. So after we multiplied, next we subtract. And in order to subtract, we need to distribute our negative. So I just like to change all the signs. So I physically change this to positive, this becomes negative, this becomes positive. And then we're ready to subtract. 3x cubed minus 3x cubed cancels. Negative 8x squared, we have negative 21 plus 21, which cancels. And finally, plus 56. And now we repeat the process again. So x squared times what will get us negative 8x squared? Well, we have x squared, we need the negative 8. Multiply negative 8 times x squared is negative 8x squared. Negative 8 times negative 7 is an additional 56. So again, subtract. Subtract, we need to distribute negative, so everything changes signs. And subtract again. Negative 8x plus 8x cancels. 56 minus 56 cancels, and we have no remainder. So parts of your division problem. Your number underneath your division house is what we call your dividend. Your answer is called your quotient. And the number on the outside is your divisor. Okay, so our final answer here is our quotient, and whatever's remainder is your remainder, which here we have 0. So our final answer here is 3x minus 8. Again, you could always check this by actually multiplying 3x minus 8 times x squared minus 7, FOIL that out. And again, you should get your dividend. Let's do another one. So what if we have x to the 4th plus 4x squared minus 5 divided by x squared minus 1. So we draw our little division house. X to the 4th plus 4x squared minus 5 divided by x squared minus 1. So again, start with the dividing. X squared times what will get us x to the 4th? And that's going to be x squared. Next, you need to multiply. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Biggest mistake people make is forget to multiply the second term. So x squared times negative 1 is negative x squared. Subtract. Change all the signs. And the first one cancels. 4x squared plus x squared is 5x squared. And bring down negative 5. So start the process again. X squared times what is 5x squared? That's going to get us positive 5. Multiply x squared times x squared, or 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Subtract. Change your signs. Cancel, and you're left with 0. So again, final answer here is x squared plus 5. So some terminology. To be called a factor, the remainder must be 0. Okay, so notice in the two examples we just did, we had no remainder, so therefore our quotient is our divisor is a factor of our dividend. So are we always going to be getting a remainder of 0? Not always. So what if we have the polynomial 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 14x plus 5. And we are dividing that by 2x squared plus 1. So again, start the division process. You ask yourself 2x squared times what will get us 2x cubed? And that's going to be, I'm just missing an x. So multiply 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. X times 1 is x. Subtract. Change your sign. First one cancels. Again, bring down the 9x squared. 14x minus x is a 13x. And bring down the 5. So again, divide again. 2x squared times what will get us a 9x squared? Well, 2 times what will get us 9? Well, that is going to be a decimal. That's okay. That's going to be 4.5. So 4.5 times 2x squared is 9x squared. 4.5 times 1 is 4.5. So again, make sure to line it up with the constant since it does not have an x. Subtract, change your signs. First part cancels. We can bring down the 13x, and then we have 5 minus 4.5, which gets us a 0.5. So let's see what happens here. Can I divide again? Well, 2x squared times anything get me 13x. Well, no, I'm already down to a constant, so I can't get anything smaller. So this is actually the remainder. So how do we write our answer when we actually have a remainder? Well, when we have our remainder, we're going to write the part that divides evenly first, x plus 4.5. So again, that's just our quotient part. But we have some left over. We have 13x plus 0.5 left over out of what we divided by, 2x squared plus 1. Okay, so when you have a remainder, you need to put the remainder as the numerator divided by whatever your divisor is. And that is how you make your complete answer. So you may be thinking that, well, this is a long process, not hard. You know, you did this back in elementary. It's just dealing with polynomials now. But is there a shortcut? And yes, there is something if you want a shortcut. It's called synthetic division. Okay, so synthetic division only works when you are dividing by x to the first. So let's look at a problem. X cubed minus 7x squared minus 7x plus 20 should be divided by x plus 4. So since my divisor is x to the first, I can use synthetic. So how synthetic works is synthetic is the complete reverse of your long division. So we're going to start by making a little half box. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this x plus 4 and we're going to set it equal to 0. So since this is plus 4, we are going to put negative 4 here. So again, how are we getting the negative 4? We are taking x plus 4 and setting it equal to 0. So x equals negative 4. That's where the negative 4 comes. So next we're going to put our coefficients. Okay, I start with the x cubed, I have the x squared, x to the first, constant. Whether you have it or not, you still need to actually put the descending exponent. Okay, so how many x cubes do I have? I have only one of those. How many x squareds? I have negative 7. Make sure to include the sign, x to the first, negative 7, and constant is 20. You're going to skip a line and then draw, you're going to skip some space and then draw a line. So we're going to do the complete reverse of your long division. So we're starting with bringing down. Now we're going to multiply and add. So we're going to multiply these. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. And now we're going to add. Negative 7 minus 4 is negative 11. Now we're going to multiply. Negative 11 times negative 4 is 44. Add negative 7 plus 44 is 37. 37 times negative 4 is negative 148. Add, and we get negative 128. So what you just found here are your coefficients for the answer. So you started with an x cubed and you divided by an x. So if I started with x cubed and I divided by an x, that means that my remainder here is going to be my coefficient for x squared, which means this is x to the first, this is my constant, and the ending one is going to be your remainder. Okay, so how do we write our answer? I have 1x squared minus 11x plus 37, and my remainder is 128 divided by what is my divisor out of x plus 4. Okay, so remember your remainder is always a fraction out of the total, So again, synthetic is a shortcut, takes little use to getting used to. But again, when you are dividing by x to the first, notice it is a faster way of solving. So let me do one more synthetic in case you like that method. Again, you can always solve all problems using long division. So last one, what if we have x to the fourth minus 5x cubed minus 8x squared plus 13x minus 12 divided by x minus 6. So again, since we're dividing by x to the first, I can make my division house or half box. Again, since this is x minus 6, we're going to put a positive 6 here. And again, my highest coefficient, x to the fourth, so x cubed, x squared. Again, whether you have it or not, make sure to put in descending order. You even need a place value if you don't have one. So put your coefficients. My coefficient here is 1x to the fourth. I have negative 5. I have negative 8. I have 13, and I have negative 12. Skip some space. Draw a line. So again, we're doing reverse order. First bring down. Now we are going to multiply, add, multiply, add. So 6 times 1 is 6. Add, negative 5 plus 6 is 1. Multiply, 6 times 1 is 6. Negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. And 1 times 6 is 6. Negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. So we started with x to the 4th, so this is x cubed, x squared, x, a constant, and our remainders at the end. So how do we write our answer? I have 1x cubed plus x squared minus 2x plus 1. And I have a remainder of 6 out of, what did I divide by? X minus 6. Okay, so long division can be used on everything. Shortcut synthetic can only be used when dividing by x to the 1st.